probably stressed about your finances in your company. You're probably not set up for success. You're probably doing things wrong and you're not making enough money or you're losing money. And I'm sick of it. I'm so frustrated in finding such amazing people who deserve to make so much money, but because they don't either have the discipline or the knowledge to know their finances, they are getting hosed. I got off a call today with someone who is paying $1,600 a month to a bookkeeping firm, and the bookkeeping firm is doing their work wrong. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through just simple logic on how you can set up your finances the right way in your company so you don't get effed. Because I have seen multiple companies get screwed. And frankly, I'm kind of sick of it. So this is something I'm going to be building out in front of you. I'm going to be stream of consciousness explaining this because it's enough, friends. Like, we should all be able to make enough money to live comfortably. So what you're going to see here on the screen is just a simple overview of how I think about the first thing, which is acquisition. This past week, I had a client come to us and tell us they were paying $7,000 per month for 20 qualified leads, which sounds like a freaking atrocity. We spend last month about $12,000 on all of our marketing. We booked over 100 appointments, 80 of them were qualified. So when I see a client telling me this, I have a lot of questions. So let's establish rule number one. Rule number one is that you must at least break even between your cost to acquire a customer and your gross expenses in your first month. So what's this mean? When you work with a new customer, you have your CAC, and that equals your cost to acquire a customer. I find that a lot of agencies are spending anywhere between, $300 all the way up to the guy I spoke to today was spending $1,650. The simplest way that you could find out what your CAC is take all of the money you spent in marketing last month, which includes people doing DMs, making content, like everything. And then you also put how many clients you signed. If you spent $10,000 and you signed 10 clients, your CAC last month was $1,000. So we have our CAC. We need to figure out our gross profit. Our gross profit is a really simple equation. It's how much we make in revenue minus how much it takes to fulfill that revenue. So what we need to be able to do in a simple math equation here, we need to figure out, are you set up for success to at least break even in your first month or first engagement with your clients? And I spoke with an agency, a client today, who they charge $9,000 for the first 3 months and they don't charge something for onboarding. And I was explaining to this founder, you can't do that. You have fulfillment costs to set up your accounts. And for the sake of this, I'm just going to say it was a cold email agency. It wasn't, but for the sake of this example, I was like walking them through the math. Their approximate cost to acquire a customer was like $1,250. Their approximate costs for onboarding and setup was $1,000. So if they want to charge for onboarding at a bare minimum, the minimum they should be charging per onboarding, like if they were to go out and just say, hey, we have an onboarding setup fee, it's $2,250. And that's because the CAC was $1,250. Onboarding cost for fulfillment was $1,000. This is the bare minimum. But in reality, if you're this business owner, you should probably doing something along the lines of $3,500 because you also want to make some money. We don't do this just to break even. We do this to draw a profit. And if you're delivering enough value to your customers, that's worth it. So I oftentimes find that customers like this, guys that are doing $7,000 a month for 20 qualified leads, they're paying a cold email provider. So things I was looking at and things you need to consider if you're going to go pay an agency for that is, number one, what's your average sales cycle, right? The sales cycle is the length of time it takes between when you book a call and you close a deal. Some companies have a sales cycle of 90 days. So this customer was paying $7,000 for 20 qualified leads. I asked him what his average closing rate was on cold email. They don't have a brand. So when you look them up online, when you look them up on social, you're not going to find them anywhere, right? And the average closing rate for cold email is typically 10%. The average closing rate for cold email, they sell media buying services, is usually 30 to 45 days. So what I told them is look, dude, your average close rate is 10% on 20 qualified calls in an entire month. That's 2 clients a month. If you're spending $7,000 a month, your cost to acquire a customer, your onboarding fee has to be at minimum $3,500 each to break even on your cost to acquire your 2 customers. That doesn't include your fulfillment cost. So I think these guys were probably getting hosed, frankly. Now, if they came to me and said, Jordan, we're able to do 30% closing rate and our sales cycle is, I don't know, we'll call it 15 to 20 days. What this basically means, within 30 days of spending $7,000, they're going to close 6 deals. If their onboarding fee fee for a client was $3K, right? And they close 6 deals, that'll be $18,000. They will have enough money to pay for their cost to acquire and probably fulfillment because they'll have an extra $11,000 left over. So you need to be able to run the math. So this is number one. You need to be able to run the math on all of this. Number two, outside of acquisition, it's your net profit. And why is it your net profit? So I had another founder today who ran a loss last month, and we're looking at it. I'm like, dude, you made $140,000. Like, that shouldn't be the case. So when you're looking at everything and when you dissected it, first and foremost, his cost to acquire a customer was way too high. They booked about 20 appointments a month, right? And from their 20 appointments that they were booking, they were spending roughly $12,500 per month. So same thing. He told me he closes about 8 deals a month. So their total cost to acquire a customer was about $1,500, right? Then I looked at his gross margin. What did it cost to service? This guy does web development and SEO. The issue is he doesn't really sign many people SEO, so he was actually losing money. I ran the math. He told me he was paying a vendor that he was also paying $7K. I don't know what the $7K is, guys. He was paying him $7,000, and the last 4 months, he made $30,000. So he made $30K. He spent $28K, and then he had fulfillment costs. And this is just on a one-off service. So if you are running a one-off service, my biggest encouragement for you is this equation for you, it has to be the golden rule. If you're not running a one-off service, you could, in theory, right? If you do web development and SEO and web hosting, and you know that a certain percentage of your accounts succeed and convert to SEO or recurring services, you could look at this differently. This founder wasn't really converting well. So the last thing is recurring services. Within your recurring services, if you understand and you know that you're profiting for your first service, which all the stories I told you, like no one was profiting to acquire their customer. They were actually all losing money. You could make up by winning in recurring services. So once you acquire a customer, here are a few no's. Do not give sales team members perpetuity commissions. Sales commissions for like your closers and your other people should be one-time earnings, also known as OTE. Do not give affiliate commissions, lifetime commissions. Give them shorter contracts. At ADF, you will get $500 on your affiliate commission. And that's based on the LTV, like lifetime value. For these services, please know your cost of service. And then also know your back office. And the final thing of all of these things is hire a good bookkeeping firm. I don't know if bookkeeping in real time is 2K. I think it's 1K. And so one of the clients I spoke to today who was working with a bookkeeping firm was charging and being charged $1,600 for bookkeeping. And this one drives me insane. Their bookkeeping firm did not turn around their books for 3 to 4 weeks. So think about it. The month ends, you're a founder that hates tedious stuff and details and you don't want to actually look at anything. So you just say, you know, I'm not going to look at it. My bookkeeping firm has got it. But the bookkeeping firm, they don't update your books for a month and they do it wrong and they charge you a lot more. So at ADF, I got so sick of this, I launched my own bookkeeping firm because I was just so stressed and frustrated for my clients. Hire a good bookkeeping firm. My bookkeeping firm, 8-Figure Finance, is run by one of my best friends, Ben. He's a forensic accountant, CPA, and a good bookkeeping firm, right? If you're doing like $1 million annually, you should probably pay $350 a month, which is what we charge. And you should get consistent updates. I've never seen a bookkeeping firm that updates weekly. So we update the books for our clients weekly because, God damn it, you should know your numbers every week. And then we also send our clients the P&L, right? Here's the P&L from the previous month. Most people, when I ask them, they can't find that. The other thing that no one will really provide you is insights, right? So here's what you made, here's what you overspent. If you do not want to do this, if you don't know this yourself, you should be hiring someone for this. My friends, these are the critical things that you need to know and understand for your finances. It's really simple. The most important lesson here is know your cost to acquire a customer. Know what your gross costs are and your gross profit are. And when you onboard someone, that first onboarding fee, not your first month expense, but your onboarding fee should be enough to cover the gross cost and the onboarding. So friends, thank you so much for watching. If you need help with this, go to the link below and book a call because this is simple, but it's also hard if you don't get it. If you want to receive extra value, go to my links below where I have all my trainings. Go to my 8 trainings. And if you got value from this, like and subscribe. Keep joining and I will keep helping. Thank you so much.